Philosophically, we can't make a scientific demonstration of consciousness because consciousness is not a scientific concept. A synonym for consciousness is subjectivity. A synonym for science is objectivity. There's a conceptual gap between subjectivity and objectivity. We can look at an entity and see how it behaves. We can even look inside its brain and see how it's operating and if it has feedback loops just like a human being, and if the methods going on inside its brain are similar to what goes on inside a human brain. That's an objective analysis, but we can't really experience its subjective experience any more than I can experience your subjective experience.
So when a machine passes the Turing test, it will be considered conscious. Tell us, what is the Turing test?
The Turing test was devised by Alan Turing in 1950. It's a way of telling whether a machine is operating at human levels, and it has really held up the test of time. You have a human judge. There's a lot of debate as to what is a human, but a human judge interviews the computer and a human over what he called teletype lines. You can think of it as instant messaging. So the judge can't see the computer and the human, and he or she interviews the two subjects, or maybe there's 5 of them, and asks various questions. Well, what movie have you seen recently? What did you think of the motivation of the main character? And if after some period of time, he didn't specify, but let's say a few hours, the judge can't tell who the humans are and who the machines are, then we say the machine has passed the Turing test. There are Turing tests run every year among humans and computers. And so far, no computer has passed the Turing test, but they all get scores. And the humans are kind of up here, and the machines are down here. But the machines are moving up. The humans are kind of staying fixed. That gap is shrinking. According to one such test, if the computer can fool the judges 30% of the time, it's considered to have passed the test. In the last test, it fooled the judges 25% of the time. I actually think 30% is too easy. I think it should be 50 or 60%. But they're getting better. And by 2029, I believe they will pass the Turing test, because we really will understand human intelligence. And so they will be indistinguishable from human intelligence. But it's not going to be an alien invasion of intelligent machines to compete with us. We're going to merge with this technology, and we're going to make ourselves smarter. That's always been the purpose of our tools.
There's a lot of resistance to that idea.
So you asked the question, is it enough for a computer to pass?
Yes.
Is it enough for a computer to pass the Turing test to be considered conscious? I would say yes. I mean, that's my philosophical belief. That's not a scientific demonstration. There is no scientific demonstration of the consciousness of another entity. My sort of political prediction or psychological prediction is that biological humans will come to believe that these machines are conscious. They will be convinced when the machine says, I'm really happy at this, I'm angry at that, will believe that they are having that conscious experience, just the way we don't generally believe it now when a character in a computer game, which is a computer software program, says, I'm angry. You don't really believe it yet, because it doesn't have the richness of personality and the depth of language understanding that humans have today. That gap is going to go away. We will believe that they're conscious. And it's not going to be a clear distinction. Okay, this is a machine, this is a human. You're going to have these, most biological humans will be enhanced with computer intelligence, and ultimately they will be mostly computer intelligence.
You wrote that the Earth, with the new technologies that are coming, will be able to support 10 billion people. But if we are immortal, if we become immortal, we will stop reproducing?
Well, we can go far beyond 10 billion. If we look at the resources that humans need, all of these will be provided by these exponentially growing information technologies. Larry Page, the co-founder of Google, and myself just did a major study for the National Academy of Engineering on energy, and identified solar energy as growing exponentially. It's been doubling every 2 years for the last 20 years, so it's doubled 10 times. It's only 8 doublings to go for it to meet 100% of the world's energy needs. Then you might say, yeah, but do we have enough sunlight to go around? We have 10,000 times more than we need. We only have to capture 1 part in 10,000 to meet all of our energy needs. And there are very credible plans to do that over the next 20 years. The same thing is true of new emerging water technologies. There's lots of water, but most of it's either salty or polluted. But there are new technologies that are ultimately will be very inexpensive and decentralized that can clean up that water. Dean Kamen's water machine, in fact, today, with some further development, for just a few $billions, could meet all of the water needs of Africa. So these are emerging technologies. There are new food technologies that can be grown in factories, including in vitro cloning of animal meat without animals, hydroponically grown plants that ultimately can provide very high quality organic food at extremely low cost, because they will be information technologies. Nanotechnology will be able to create physical products by reassembling molecular fragments at very low cost. So I can email to you an information design, and you can use your desktop nanofactory to create a solar panel, a module for housing, all the different things that you need. Then people say, but we don't have enough land to support people. We actually have plenty of land. I mean, try taking a train trip across the United States or across China. It's all empty. And we can, in fact, house people. If we have nanotechnology to create very efficient housing to support a very large number of people. So, and the population's not going to grow that quickly. I mean, even if we eliminate the death rate, the doubling time of the biological population is still going to be 10 to 15 years. The doubling time of the power of these technologies is 1 year or less, so it'll more than be able to keep up with it. So, I mean, we can support growth of the human population well through the 21st century.